Mica Miller lost her life in an unusual way. Her family believed she was taken out by her husband, while others believed the event leading up to the fatal shooting showed she planned to end her own life that day, that she carried out the act alone. But the abusive pattern she suffered from John Paul was exactly the same treatment he meted out on his first wife. If Mica knew what she knew before she married John, she would never have left her first husband and young marriage. She was the last straw that broke John's first marriage. In fact, they were each responsible for destroying their respective marriages. John Miller's ex-wife shared similar experience she had with her ex-husband. She explained that Mica was a member of their church and used to be the babysitter for their children, and John Paul even hired her as a secretary when eventually an affair started. It was stated in their divorce documents John had an addiction to seeking intimacy with women. While they were separated, John constantly stalked and harassed Allison. He went to her job and her new church very often. He always showed up unannounced everywhere she went. She changed her church, but he still found her. He also asked her church for counseling to see if they could help bring his marriage together. He just wanted to get back together with his wife, but that ship sailed long time ago, and too many water had gone under the bridge. He continued to text her. He called her. He found her new office too. He pleaded with her to spend 40 days with him, but she vehemently refused him. He visited her home when she was not around. One time he laid on the grass in front of the house, crying, obviously under the influence of the substance he was taking. A few months after this, John Paul Miller went to Allison's house and asked to take the kids out for ice cream, but she refused because he was under the influence of substance. Eventually, he moved right across the pond from her house, and he would send messages to her when he saw her with other people over at her house. He even tried to pour salt on a tree that was blocking his view from seeing everything going on in her house in an attempt to destroy it on many occasions. There were multiple reports of stalking Allison around June 2016, which was the same time he was courting Mica. Welcome back to Crime in Prison. Today we're looking at the pathetic case of Mica Miller demise. By the way, Crime in Prison is a collection of narratives that delve into the world of crime, punishment, and redemption. The best way to support me is by subscribing to the channel and leaving a comment. So if you want to see more stories like this, please hit subscribe. It will really help with the algorithm. Now let's get right down to it. John did the exact same thing to Mica, but this ended up impacting her negatively, mentally, and emotionally. It was physically draining. He hired people to put a tracking device on her car, and they monitored her every move. When John Miller was confronted, he said he put the tracking device on her car to monitor her because she had threatened to harm herself. Pastor John Paul Miller's ex-wife's name is Allison spoke about what she endured while married to John Miller. He cheated on her with multiple women while they were still married. Not only that, he was also in compromising positions with underage girls in the church and touched them inappropriately. John Miller confessed to his wife and church leaders about his extramarital activities. In spite of that, he still continued his pastoral assignment. This church was owned by his family, so they treated him with kids' gloves. He was never made to step down, reprimanded, suspended, or expelled. It just continued. Mica was a believer. She loved God and worked in the ministry, but she should have understood that if you loved your neighbor as yourself, then you shouldn't covet what belongs to them. John Paul Miller was married to Allison, but Mica made the mistake of putting their marriage asunder through infidelity. When he cheated on Allison with Mica, he still continued to work in the church. It's one thing to love the Lord and serve Him. It is another to obey God's commandment. Perhaps if she simply turned down John's advances and opened up to her husband, she would still be alive and enjoying the beauty of marriage. Okay, so when John confessed to the leaders and his wife about his inappropriate activities in the church, the leaders advised him to seek help and counsel for his addiction to women, but he bluntly refused, stating he would take care of himself. Many people left the church, but it was as though he didn't care. I don't think there was any disciplinary action at all. Charles Randall, his spiritual mentor, knew about his escapades, but he continued to let him preach the gospel. Actually, John Paul Miller officiated at Mica's first wedding to Jeremy, her long-term boyfriend, in 2012 when she was just 18. According to sources, Mica started dating John Miller before she officially married Jeremy, her first husband. The young couple visited John Miller and his wife at their home often and spent a lot of time rehearsing the music for the church. Unfortunately, John Miller and Mica Jeremy's wife, were caught in an intimate session in 2015. John Miller's first wife, Allison, filed for divorce immediately in 2015 after discovering he was having an affair with Mica, who also doubled as their babysitter for their 4 children. Allison was devastated. Home, church, life, income, and family were completely ruined. John Paul Miller sent lewd messages to church members pretending to be Mica and was also accusing her of having inappropriate relationships with underage children. Their marriage reached a point of no return. Things fell apart, and the center could not hold again. He stalked and harassed her. At one point, he took over her Facebook account. He slashed her car tire and did all sorts of horrible things to her. She was fatigued mentally. 2 months before Mica filed for a divorce on the 23rd of February, 2 months before Mica filed for divorce, John Miller Christina, a waitress at her job, and left a huge tip for her at the bar with his phone number and a smiley face. They texted each other from then on. He wanted to have a relationship with her. He requested she sent a picture to him, specifically one where she wore bikini. This was after his wife had allegedly taken herself out. He didn't mourn her at all. Never even mentioned he was married, or if he lost a wife. In an apology email from him to Mica on April 15th of this year, which is about 12 days before she died in it, he writes, "I'm sorry for damaging your car, tires, etc. If you ever come back, we'll turn in both cars and get you a nice SUV or whatever car you want to get my formal flesh pattern of hurting someone when they hurt me." There were allegations that Mica had been threatened with a topless photo of herself that it would be posted on the internet. John Miller apologized for being the brain behind the threat. He admitted he made those threats and posted the picture online. In the letter John Miller wrote, he wrote, "I'm sorry for putting a picture of you on the internet. It was for less than 1 hour and immediately taken down, telling everyone horrible, intimate details of my past. And I just want to try to hurt you. Please forgive me. It was evil of me. No need to do that." Mica herself left a letter that she wrote 2 days after this apology letter and 8 days before her passing. She wrote, "Since the day we became husband and wife, I've been abused in every way I can think of emotionally. It's actually spiritually, financially, and physically. He has harassed me physically, electronically with letters, phone calls, emails, texts, personal Facebook, in-person me using mice to one phone descent. Texan team is out to church. Members goes on and on and on installing tracking device." The tracker on her mother's car was found on March 11th, March 14th, March 24th, and April 15th. Rumor had it that he started another affair with a married church member whose husband was on a wheelchair. The husband mysteriously lost his life when he drowned in a pool. On the day Mica lost her life, she had gone to the store to purchase the gun she allegedly shot herself with. Then she drove to a wooded area in a park and called 911. She told the operator she was in the process of killing herself and was only calling so they could notify her family in case they were looking for her. A fisherman was at the vicinity of where she took her own life. He said he heard a woman sobbing and then a gunshot followed. He found the items she had gone to the area with, but they were at the same place where her body was found. Multiple shell casings, and a live round were found at an area with stagnant water. Her family, she not capable of taking her own life. They argued her husband was responsible. But what made this narrative fell apart was the fact that an hour after she purchased the gun, which was caught on the CCTV camera in the shop, she drove herself to Lumber River State Park. She called 911 and asked if they could trace the location of her phone. The operator confirmed her phone number and told her where she was located. At that time, she had her location on her phone, but she didn't want to share with anyone. The operator found her location in Robinson County at the Lumber River State Park. She told the female operator she was about to end her own life, and she just wanted her family to know where to find her. This is the 911 call Mica made at the park before her demise.
Robinson County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
In National Park.
What's the phone number you're calling me from?
843-655-5242.
Where's the park located at?
In Fair Bluff.
Let's see.
I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on. I just did my my location.
Okay, I'm showing, hold on one second. I don't think you are in Robeson County. Are you at the Lumber River State Park? In,
Yeah, that's where I am.
okay. Tell me what's happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Okay, ma'am. Just listen to what I'm saying, okay? Let me make sure I got the exact location where you're at, okay? Just 1 minute.
This is John Miller's bizarre and emotionless church announcement after his wife's demise.
We're not going to do an altar call today. Instead, I'm going to have you stand up, and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next, little bit. 'Cause I don't want to have. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks. I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina, and we're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come, but just keep our family in your prayers. And I'm going to let Pastor Randall, my bishop, he can pray. I'll get him a microphone, he'll pray out. And if you have anything you want to share as well, I appreciate it.
The book of Proverbs states that the wicked will never go unpunished. Thank you for staying with me till the end of the story. What are your thoughts on this entire case? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. If you appreciated our efforts, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so now and stay connected with Crime and Prison. By subscribing, you'll receive notifications for more compelling stories like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video with another true crime story.